Hello. Let's speak a little bit about some of the data manipulations that you can use or that you can do with Tableau. So what I want to do is that I want to use the flights dataset, if I can find it, like here. This is a dataset that I got from the Vega datasets repository. It comes in JSON format, so I'm going to open that right away with Tableau. So the first thing that Tableau is helpful for is that sometimes you have JSON data and you want to convert it into tables. So you can actually do that in here. So one way of doing that is you just import the file, then you get something like this. And then you select what are the elements that you want. If it is a nested structure, then it can be useful for you to select what are the elements that you want. Now, the next thing I want is that, like as you can see in here, I have a date and an origin and a destination in here. These are different airports. So you can use this for aggregating and trying to see how many flights are there in, for instance, in between SNA and SJC. So if I go in here, then one easy way, I wonder if here, so let me do measure names versus measure values. Yes, that's what I want. So I want these elements. Let's say that I also want, how do I add? Can I put this one here? But then he was going to do it like that. Yes, that's what I want. Beautiful. So now I have like origin, destination, and then I have the count of flights. So that's what I want, the count of flights in here. For the delay, I'm going to use the average. And for the distance, I actually like the average. And the max should be the same because the distance shouldn't change in between them. So I actually can check that. So now it seems it's working. Apart from that, I also, and now I'm scared that this is not going to fail on me. Again, I'm going to add an index. And this index, oh, beautiful. I don't need to do anything else now with this. So this index is going to be helpful for us because later when we do some operations on this, I'm going to want to use that to identify each one of the routes. So this is going to be useful for us. We should have 600. There we go. And then what you can do is that in Tableau, you can actually export your data. So you can come in here in the worksheet and then data export. And then you have to specify in here, like let's say this is aggregated flights. And this is going to be a CSV file. So once I do that, then funny note is that even though Tableau is saying that it's a CSV and it prefers CSV files, if you open that on a text editor, you're going to find that it is, and now I'm worried about these things. Oh, why it is doing it like that? So I couldn't be as nice as I expected. So it seems like this format didn't work. So the other way that we can do this is that we can take all of these and let's put them on the text. So let's get rid of the index names. So I want my index, I want my delay, my distance. Remember to keep this as the average or maximum, and this other one as the average as well. And then I also wanted the count, so let's put that in here. So now I have the 4 variables, and now my index is all messed up, as you can see. Let's put it at the bottom so I can differentiate it a little bit more. Although it might be okay. Let's see, like 146, 155. Yes, it seems that's working. So I wonder if I can get rid of this from here. That works. Perfect. So now let's export the data once more. So worksheet, export data. And then let's save it again as aggregated flights. And let's take a look at that on text node in here. So open with text edit. That's what I wanted. I don't know why. It's funny because in Tableau it was showing this as a table directly on Tableau, but this one that doesn't show in Tableau as a table, in here in the data, it's actually coming as a table. What I was mentioning is that it uses TSV and it doesn't let you change the name in there. So I'm going to change the name right here because that can actually help Tableau to know that that file that itself generated, it's not a CSV. So yes, I want to use a TSV. And then I'm going to open another Tableau and get that CSV as a file. And the reason why I'm switching to a CSV, not only because I wanted to do the aggregations, it's also because I want to do a join with another dataset that I downloaded with information from all the airports. And it's important that you have that that file on the same folder. And if you have that, then one of the nice things is that you can try doing a join in between them. Okay, so let's cancel that because it's trying to do a join with itself, which is also possible. But before doing that, if you see, I want to do a join using the airport code. But as you can see, I have two airports in here, like origin and destination. So I can select those two columns, and then I can say I want to pivot them. And then I can create something like this. And then I can say this is going to be my origin and origin destination, let's call it destination. And then this other one in here can be my airport. Now, this other one came with a very ugly name. You can also change the name for that variable. So this is the number of flights. And then let's say this is just going to be an index, okay? And then using that, now I can go and add the extra information. So when I do that and I'm dragging, there is two things that you can do. You can do unions in the files, which is like concatenating files. So what I'm doing in here, that is doing a join, and then I just need to select what are the attributes that I'm going to use for joining. And as you can see, right away, it gets you results. It used to be the case that these have like more explicit performance option, many to many. Oh, they changed this. Some records match. Let's do it like that. There we go. There used to be a way of selecting these. Maybe they removed that for selecting what type of join you wanted to do. So it seems like that's gone. Or maybe it's one of these other options, or maybe they're changing that because there is another tool called Tableau data preparation. So let's stick with this one for the moment. So I wonder, like, can I get rid of this? No, so I cannot go that far. So now that I'm here, now I have, like, one of the nice things is that this data set has latitude and longitude information, so I can use that for creating a map. You know how much I hate maps, but still. And then since we are going to be doing airports and just for the demo, it can be cool. So let's put the airport information and now have all the airports in the US. You can show like the names if we want. And if you want to show the links in between them, then we can say that we're going to use a line. And then use the index in here for I think for the path is what we need to do. And I think I'm missing something. Let's say that this index is going to be an identifier and then use it as an identifier. And then I screwed up everything. There we go. This is what I wanted. So now I have links in between all of the airports. And I can also go and show my average delay. That will be something like this. And I can also go and start using some of these other information for some of the other attributes. Like for instance, another trick, and hopefully this one doesn't look on my face, is that I have found that if you want to do layer on Tableau, like one of the only ways is doing dual axis. You can use like one layer, unless you create like a transparent chart and on a dashboard put another one on top, which is really ugly. So when I do this, then I now have another option in here where I can change my mark. So I can say this is going to be automatic. And let's say that I'm going to get rid of this, that I'm going to get rid of this. And these are going to be circles, as you're saying, and then these are going to be my airports with the different labels. That's better. It seems like the latitude and longitude, it's taking the average in between them. Oh man, how do I do that now? What if I say, let's get rid of this for a second. I just noticed that we had that problem. I cannot disaggregate this, so I guess I want to have origin and destination. That seems more like it. And then source, destination. I am probably missing something in here. So I want origin and destination, and my detail by the index. Is that any better? So let's see if I select these ones. And this is a video supposedly for data preparation in Tableau. But sorry if I get too entangled in here trying to figure out how to show the two of them. So actually it seems like, but it seems to be showing like the value in between the two. So yeah, it seems like it includes the two of them. So having done that, then as I was doing before, let me do the dual axis, because I want to use a different mark for showing the airports, and then I can come in here and then show airport in the text. Will you work for me, please? And then get rid of this. Let's get into it. I don't want the average delay in here, I just want the name. And then for instance, they do have some extra information in here, like what is the score. And if I want to use the score for that, then I can see that this one in here is the one with the, which actually it seems to be like a missing airport. So let's get rid of the score because it looked better the other way. So anyhow, my idea with this is just to show you, like as you saw in there, I changed column names. You can also, one of the other things, if you want to filter attributes, you can just remove a column in here, just saying like hide, and then exporting the data, it will not get in there. You can rename things, you can join, you can pivot. So it's quite powerful for what you can do. If you want to learn more about data processing tools, I recommend you taking a look at Trifacta, that you already might know is the company from Jeffrey here and some of his students and other people, that allows you to do a lot of data processing using a little bit of machine learning, and it's quite powerful. So take a look at it. It's especially good when you have data that is really wrangled. So originally it used to be called data wrangle, and hopefully this can help you doing data processing on your datasets.